And welcome to the Davenport Coaches Show, coming to you live from Uccello's in Caledonia. We've got a nice show lined up. This is our final show of the season. We'd hope to go next week, but it turns out the teams, both basketball teams, will be up in the Upper Peninsula. They're leaving Wednesday, so we won't be able to do it. This is our final show of the winter campaign here. I'm Rick Berkey. Coach Shonda Sanders, head coach of the women's basketball program, is here. She's brought a player. We'll get to her a little bit later. Coach Burt Paddock and a player of his choice is also here. We'll talk about that as well. We want to thank good folks here at Uccello's of Caledonia, Spencer, Mario, the whole gang here, Brittany, have been wonderful taking care of us all season long, as they always do. Mm-hmm. Coach Sanders joins us right now. First, Coach, final two home games of the year, this Thursday and Saturday. You've still got two, as we said, to the UP next week. How are you approaching overall these final two home games?
It's just keep battling, keep getting better. Every game, keep growing, keep battling, and the goal is to always finish the season on a good note, try to finish with a good winning streak to end it on a good note. But we battle every day in practice and just to keep battling.
All right, well, again, you don't have to look too far back. Your last win came against Lake State up in their place. You beat them at their place. And as something that you've said all season long to us, I think that's the last time you out-rebounded a team, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And you won the game.
Yeah, we out-rebounding. We shot a great percentage. It was really just that last minute with missing free throws versus them. I think we were up by like 8 with a minute left or 6, and we missed like 6 free throws in that stretch. So it could have been, if we got stopped and made free throws, a 14-point game at that. But we learned from them.
Ellie Toney hit a huge three after you had been scoreless from three-point the whole game. Mm-hmm. Final 2 minutes, she knocked down a big three. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was huge, and we had great looks the whole game from it. And I just kept telling them, stay confident, keep shooting it. We'll have a big one that will fall, and then she just hit that big one.
Having covered your last two games, Coach, I know you've worked on press breaker this week. Tell us about that.
Yes, we worked on it. I mean, the last two games, I don't even think them two teams pressed us, and I think when they did, we did fine with it. But it's been our struggle this year, and we don't know why, because, in the beginning of the year in our non-conference schedule, when teams pressed us, we were fine, and it just kind of got to us once we got in conference. But it's every day we're going over it. We're trying to get them more confident. We're just making reads out of it.
Coach, you've had lots of experience with different teams, different levels of success as a player, as a coach also. What's the mood of the team? Because, it's no secret, they're not playing for any championships this year. What is the mood of this team?
The mood of this team right now is definitely getting better. Right now, just to keep getting better every day, keep getting better as a team, but also individually. And then also, we all know, the girls know, we all know we're not going to make the conference tournament. We all know we're not going to make an NCAA tournament. So like I said, these last 4 games is just going to determine, especially the girls who are returning for next year, is how are you going to end the season, and how are you going to end the season going into thinking about next season. So it's just all about really just keep getting better at the little things and things that we bark on, which is rebounding. Maybe these last 4 games, let's get better at rebounding. Let's get better with taking care of the ball. So then that gives you the confidence with going on from this year.
Coach, senior day is Saturday. You'll honor the 2 young ladies that will be leaving their basketball side here at Davenport. I want you to give us some words on each of them. First, Mary Lytle.
I really enjoyed having Mary these last 2 years. I know she transferred in and didn't play the year before I got here. So her first time playing here was with me her last 2 years, and I really enjoyed Mary. We always call her, the girls call her like the mom of the team, because she's like the oldest. And then also she's just like, they joke and call her like a grown woman, because she's just so strong. And she just goes hard all the time. And no one wants to take a charge against her in practice just because they know they might be out for a couple of drills. But she's such a strong person. She's a smart girl. When you think of like student athlete, she's a 4.0 student. She gets it done in the classroom, and then she's always in the gym. She gets it done on the court. So it's just, you couldn't ask more out of a player.
You mentioned GPA. Your whole team, group-wise, has an outstanding GPA, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we ended last semester with like a 3.5 or 3.6 as a team. No one on our team had under a 3.0. So yeah, we kill it in the classroom.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
It really is, because they're going to be professionals and working in other areas long after their basketball days are done.
Yeah, and that's one thing I preach to them. Like, yes, these 4 years are going to be great memories in basketball, but your degree is what's going to take you beyond when you graduate from here in your career. So you take the classroom very serious.
Your other senior you'll recognize, McKenna Bryant, who you brought. We'll get to her in a little bit. Tell us about McKenna.
McKenna, she's a special one. I remember when I got the job, and me and her talked, and we just things that I seen in her, and I always used to tell her, like, you're a great shooter. You gotta shoot. You gotta shoot. You gotta shoot. Have confidence in your shot. And we talked about that, and I remember last year it was kind of a little joke. She was like, man, coach, I made more threes this year than I shot in 2 years. I was hearing things like that. It's just little things that we used to joke about. But she is one I wish I could have been able to coach her for all 4 years. Yeah, she's one I wish I could have had, just because the way she plays and things that I look for in a player. Kenna has that. So I wish I could have got her early in her career instead of at the end.
All right, senior ceremony before the game or at halftime Saturday?
Ours will be before. So before they do the starting 5.
All right, so get there early Saturday again, but get there Thursday night to cheer them on Thursday night against Lake State. See if they can get another win in the GLIAC. That would mean a lot to these young ladies who worked so hard all season long.
Yes.
5:30 at the DU Student Center. Coach, good luck, and enjoyed having you with us this year.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll take a break and come back with McKenna Bryant, our special player guest from the women's side, as you watch and listen to the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's in Caledonia. Now you can.
Yes, now I can
you
hear
can hear yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Am I looking at you, or where am I looking at?
We continue, and next up on our final Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's in Caledonia, our aforementioned player guest from the women's side, McKenna Bryant, senior guard from Cadillac, who joins us right now. And your final game, how are you approaching this week? You know that your playing career is coming to an end this week, or the next 2 weeks, 2 at home, 2 on the road. How do you approach that mentally?
Considering the season, I think I'm just trying to play my best and play my best for the team, try and get a couple of wins for this program before I inevitably just end my career. You know,
you're interesting high school days. You grew up in the UP in Newberry, right?
Yes.
And started out there your freshman year of high school. Then your dad got a job as athletic director down in Cadillac. Your family moved down there. So you tell us about that adjustment, because that's a tough age to transfer freshman year, because I know you had friends and you grew up with playing and just going to school with, and all of a sudden, boom, it was a long ways away.
Yeah, it was definitely a really big change going from having about like 20 kids in my graduating class when I was in Newberry. And the level of playing up there just wasn't anything compared to what it was in the Big North Conference, which is what I played in. But I think the biggest adjustment was, like I said, the level of playing, and then also just going from having 20 kids in my graduating class to having about 300.
Well, it prepared you, if you didn't know it, a little bit for what was to come in college, because this young lady's had a special challenge of, you played for 3 different coaches here at Davenport. Each coach is different, each different approaches, different philosophies, different ways of trying to reach their players. Tell us how challenging that was with 3 different coaches you played for.
It was definitely different going on from year to year. I mean, going into college and getting recruited, you never really expect that you're going to end up going through a coaching change and then end up going through 2 of them. It is really hard, and it's hard to get adjusted and get into a flow of things. I don't know. I think that going through that just helped me overall, just going through adversity and facing challenges. And I'm glad that these past 2 years I've got to spend with Shonda and actually get into the flow of things. And I hope that what I'm doing now will help the program in the long run.
Tell us a little bit about, I know you're a sport management major. What are you thinking about doing after Davenport?
I've just been applying for anything at this point. I'm looking to go into college athletics. I've been looking into being a compliance director, just working in facility management, just things along those lines.
What are you going to take away from Davenport outside of basketball? When you look, let's go to 10, 15 years down the road, you look back at your Davenport days. Other than basketball, what are you going to remember about Davenport?
I think that what'll stick out to me is that it's a very close-knit community. Like, it's not a very big school. Like, everyone knows everyone. And coming from a hometown that is small, it made me feel like I was just back at home. So I think that's what'll be my biggest takeaway.
Tell us about your family and how they've supported you through the years.
So my dad and mom have always been right behind me, helping me with everything. They brought me to AAU all across Michigan, all across the Midwest. My dad is, like you said earlier, the AD at Cadillac, and anytime I could I would just take his keys and just get into the gym. So that was also really helpful for me, and just they're really supportive, and it's really helpful.
Nice to have a private gym like that, and you can work on those 3-point shots that you made 9 3-pointers in a game in high school. Was that at Newberry or was that at Cadillac?
That was at Cadillac.
That's a special night for you, huh? School record? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fantastic as well. All right, tell us about your time here away from. What do you do with yourself when you're not studying, you're not playing basketball? What do you do just for your own personal enjoyment, McKenna?
Well, with the little time that I do get, I just like to hang out with my friends, get outside. I love going to the beach in the summer, just spending time outside, going up to the UP to see the family that I don't get to see as much. But yeah.
Well, the beach season is a little different down here. I know the beach season in the UP consists of July 4th. That's the beach season.
Yes, you get July 4th to the 6th, and then you're done.
All right, finally, McKenna. If I told you that 20 years from now, there's only going to be one teammate that's on this team right now that you'd be in contact with still, who do you think it would be?
I would say probably Nevaeh Galloway. We're pretty close. We hang out a lot outside of basketball.
Are you roommates?
Not roommates, nope, but we're pretty close.
Well, the fact that you're not roommates and you have that connection says that it's really genuine. All right, well, it's been great. We've enjoyed seeing you play, McKenna, throughout your years, and we hope to have a big couple of games at home here and then a couple on the road, so you can get a couple more wins. It'd be nice, huh?
That would be great.
McKenna Bryant, one of the seniors, being honored Saturday in our final home game of the year against Big Ferris State. We'll take a break, come back with the men's side. Coach Bert Paddock will join us. We continue to roll on with the Davenport Coach Show from Uccello's in Caledonia. The Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Again, thanks to our great hosts here, Mario and Spencer Brittany, who takes such great care of us all season long. Our final show of the season, we're switching gears to the men's side of basketball as Coach Bert Paddock, the head men's basketball coach, joins us right now. Coach, you went on that 4-game road stretch, and you got 1 out of 4. You were hoping to get more than that. But the thing is, you still got a shot.
Yeah. You know what, we did. We thought we went on the road. I thought we played some pretty good basketball, especially the Saginaw game was good. I thought, we go over to Wayne State and maybe didn't have the same energy to start the game. Then we got down double figures, but then we fought back and cut it to 6, and we were fighting a lot of different things going on that weekend with just some sickness and different things. We weren't able to get through that one, but felt good about getting a split that first weekend. But then coming back this past weekend, a little disappointing. You go to PNW and you feel like you're in the game, and it's a 7-point game with 6 or 7 minutes to go, and just, I don't know, we just didn't seem to make enough shots. And you can keep going back to that all you want. I know our kids never mean to miss shots, but just didn't feel like we could make those timely ones that you have to make when you go on the road to be able to get back into the thick of things. And we could just never get it to a 1-possession game where we would put some real pressure on them. It was always a 2- and 3-possession game or more, and just couldn't find our way back. And so it was tough. And then we go over to Parkside on Saturday, and it's always tough to play there. Coach Regal's as good a coach as there is in the conference, in the country probably for that matter. Just does a tremendous job with his kids, and we hung in there for a long time and down a man through all 4 of those games, one of our most important guys, and just felt like we just ran out of gas mentally and physically. We were down 6, 8, 10 points with 8 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden it ballooned up to almost 20 by the time the game ended. And I just felt bad for our kids. We didn't have our full allotment of guys, and just I felt like we played hard. And again, Rick, I keep going back to it, and every year you can't always have a solution. It doesn't go the way you want it to every year, maybe for some coaches, but for this year it just has not. We haven't been able to make some of those shots that we feel like we need to. And just looking at the stats today, I mean, we're shooting the ball from the field and the 3-point line at the lowest clip in the conference, and that's something I don't think that going into this season was something we felt like we never even needed to think about. We felt like we had a really good shooting team, and so feel bad for our kids. Like I said, haven't been able to make the shots that we needed to at certain times, but looking forward to these last 4 games. We get an opportunity to spend some more time together, and more than anything, a chance to try to get in that conference tournament, which we all know. We got the 8th seed a couple years ago, and we're able to get to the NCAA tournament, so still got our eyes on the prize of being able to do that, but going to take a heck of an effort this weekend with a couple really good teams rolling in.
Well, then, the guy you alluded to that you were without for 3.5 games, not only one of your best players, but also one of your biggest leaders, your team leaders, Miles Ballou, and you finally got clearance that you're going to have him back this week.
Well, we did. That was a blessing. It was really a bummer. All of a sudden you get Jakob back, and he's trying to get the rust beat off of him a little bit, and now you feel like, okay, we're going to have our whole group of guys, and as soon as he comes back, now Miles is out. And man, it's been a struggle for our kid. And like I said, I feel bad for him. I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at the situation. It's just one of those things where it hasn't worked out like we thought it might. And, to be able to get Miles back in practice yesterday, non-contact, and then contact today, he looked like $1 million. I know he's excited and fired up. He thought his career was over with, having 4 or 5 games left and being told by the doctors not sure if he's going to get to play again. And so not just because he's a good player for us and a tough kid, but just because he's such a wonderful human being. I'm super excited for him to get a chance to put the jersey back on and run out there with our guys this weekend. And like I said, hopefully find a way to get a couple this weekend, put ourselves in a situation where we're getting that conference tournament.
Well, you start out Thursday night at home against Lake Superior State, 7:30. We'll have the broadcast on dupanthers.com. But, Coach, first time you played at Lake State, interesting, you brought up to me that after the game, Lake State won that game, but you brought up Coach Hettinga from Lake State called you and said, you guys beat us in every area except 3-point shooting. That's the only thing we did better, and that was the difference.
Yeah, he was very he was great after the game. He told us why. It kind of gets old after a while. You only win so many of those moral victories, but I felt like we did. We beat them in about every statistical category you possibly can, but they shoot the blood out of it. I was looking at it the other day. Since Christmas, they've been able to make 9 or more threes in like 13 out of 16 games or something like that. When you shoot the ball that well, you're going to win a whole bunch of basketball games. And so, going into that game, although we did so many things well, the one thing we didn't do was we didn't run them off the 3-point line enough. And when you allow a team like that, when that's their strength, and when they're playing on their home court and they get that many 3-pointers to go, it makes it really tough to make up the difference, and we just weren't able to do it. We were able to get it into, again, single digits, 5-6 points with 3, 4, 5 minutes to go, but just not able to get over the hump. But hopefully getting them back here on our home court, good 3 days of practice this week. Hopefully we can be rev it up and put on a good effort tomorrow night and find a way to get one against a very good team who's actually ranked second in our region right now.
You've touched on Miles Ballou. He's one of the 3 seniors that were recognized. 3, right? Were recognized Saturday on Senior Day.
Miles, Jeff, and Yak. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Jakob Dombeck next, and what he's meant to your program.
Well, he's such an awesome kid. I think people have seen. It was funny. We're at Parkside the other day, and a guy comes to me at halftime, and he's like, because Yak in the first half had the and one, and then the driving dunk, and I mean, he looked like an NBA player for about a 2.5-minute stretch, and had a gentleman come up to me in the hallway, and he was like, Coach, how could you guys lose that many games with that kid on your team? He's an NBA player, he said. I said, yeah, he really is. He's a fantastic talent and a wonderful kid. And it's been really unfortunate for him to play less than 30 games in the 3 years that we've had him. And I do think he would have been a big difference for us. But I will say this about Yak. One thing about him, he comes to practice every day. He's always got a good attitude. He's always trying to encourage the young guys and help them out and talk them through things.
You can see that on the bench.
You really can. And then the guys on the team love him. The guys on the team feel incredibly bad for him. They also feel bad for themselves. I think if he's playing, makes a heck of a difference in our basketball team. Not only scoring the ball, but rebounding the ball, and especially the way he can block shots and kind of keeps the other team at bay when they're driving in there. A little less apt to do that when he's standing at the rim. And so, yeah, I'm super blessed to have had him in our program for the last 3 years. I know it hadn't worked out how we wanted, but I feel bad for him because I really do believe that all the kids I've ever coached, he might have had the greatest chance to be a pro. I'm just being honest. I mean, he's 6'11", high energy, runs the floor, can shoot, rebounds, just had such an opportunity in front of him, and unfortunately his body was just not able to hold up through the rigors the last 3 years. But again, he's healthy now. Hopefully he can have a good little run here the last 2 weekends and see what we can do and have some fun here the last couple weeks.
The other senior we'll recognize on Saturday, Senior Day. Will you have your presentation before the game or at halftime? Or
I think it's between the girls' game and ours.
Okay, yeah.
I believe that's what we're doing.
All right, anyway, Jeff Carrier out of Ludington, and you've given him rave reviews many times, but let's talk about him again.
Yeah, we'll miss Jeff. I mean, Jeff's one of those kids that he probably never leads us in any statistical category, rebounding, shooting, that stuff, but
crashing into tables.
You can't. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, Rick. He probably does lead us in floor burns. That is probably true. He's the epitome of what you want in your program. He's been through the thick and the thin when we won championships, and now when we've not quite been as good here the last year and a half. And he's the same as Jacques. He comes every day, and you would never know if he's having a good day or a bad day. And just great with his teammates, incredible student, has never even thought about getting in trouble. Just one of those kids that, man, if you have 12 of those guys in your program, you feel like you're going to have a really good opportunity to do some good things. And so very appreciative of what he's done. Thankful he's been here. Wish he could be with us for a lot longer. But, again, I'm blessed to have been around Jeff for the 4 years that we've had him, and he's definitely made a huge impact on our program and our young kids for sure.
All right, Coach, that's your seniors. But on the other end of the spectrum, your freshmen, Aiden Moon, you brought along with you tonight. Tell us what caught your eye when you were recruiting Aiden down in Ann Arbor.
You know what? It's a really funny story. Nate Cox, who one of our all-time greats here at Davenport, was actually at a high school game, and he called me immediately afterwards and said, Coach, I don't know if you know this kid or not, but I know he's not going to jump out at. He's not a kid that's going to make a bunch of threes. He's not going to jump over the rim, but, man, he is a winner. And so we had an opportunity to go over and check him out. He made a really good impression on our assistant coaches, so then we had a chance to get him over to our campus and visit after his senior season was over with. He played with our guys and all those types of things. And, when you get to know Aiden, he's a lot like Jeff, just always saying the right things, works incredibly hard. He's disappointed he hasn't been able to play more than maybe he's had an opportunity this year, but we see a huge future for him here. He is an incredibly hard worker, great big strong kid, great attitude, tremendous student. And I think as we go along here, I think you'll see a lot of good things from him in the next 3 years. And, again, going back to his high school days, the thing we liked was he was just so competitive. And I think when you have guys like that in your program, and if you can put 15 guys together that are winners, that win a lot of high school games, that are super competitive people, and you put them together, they'll find a way to win when they get to your program. And so I think he's a really good start for us going through the next 4 years, a really good recruit for this freshman class.
Coach, let's get a couple of wins this week and make it really interesting next week, all right?
Greg, I appreciate it, man.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with that freshman we just talked about, Aiden Moon, here on the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's in Caledonia. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is that loud? Good enough? For good?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And our final segment of our final show of the year here, our winter version of the Davenport Coaches Show. And thanks to everybody that made this. Pete, of course, from Davenport, did such a great job with Pete Rusticus and all the folks that made it happen. And it's been a fun year for us, as always. We did the fall season, which was football and other fall sports. This winter, it's been basketball and other winter sports. We look forward to continue to stay here at our home away from home, Uccellos of Caledonia. Our final guest, Aiden Moon, a 6'5 freshman from Ann Arbor, Michigan, went to Father Gabriel Richard High School. Aiden, let's look back first of all at your high school days and what you remember about as playing as a high schooler. I know you were two-time All-Stater. Yeah. Well, what do you remember most about your high school days at Father Gabriel?
I'd say the biggest thing is probably just my coaches. I had great coaches who kind of helped me get where I'm at because I didn't start off like this. I did not start off as a college player, and they definitely helped me build that up. So I think that's definitely the biggest thing that I remember is just how great my coaches were.
Outside of your parents, can you pick one coach or one person that was really influential on you, seeing that maybe you can go beyond this high school thing, which you've obviously done?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely my middle school coach who got me started playing basketball, and then
what's his name?
Dave Konzicki.
Okay.
Unfortunately he passed away a few years ago, but he was definitely a big mentor for me. He got me started playing basketball. He just from 3rd to 8th grade, he just had a lot of faith in me and pushed me and knew where I could be, and that definitely helped a lot.
Now, I don't care who you are, where you come from. You go from high school ball to college ball, it's about adjustments to the game. I want you to pick out an area that was really the biggest challenge for you adjusting from high school to college ball, and maybe another area that you thought would be bigger and it wasn't quite as challenging as it was. What will those two areas be?
For sure, the biggest area of kind of difference is just something that I had to improve on was confidence, and I still don't think I'm there yet. Not even close. I still have a long way to go. But just, coming in and playing with guys who went Division I out of high school, guys who are 23, 24, 25, and, having the confidence that, I can play with them and, compete at this level. Like I said, I'm not there yet, but that was definitely the biggest adjustment.
What can you find? Can you think of an area that you thought would be bigger than it is, and you say, okay, it wasn't quite as tough as I thought it might be?
Probably defense. I think I'm set up well for defense with, just the work I put in my frame and my body, But I just think, I think I'm in a good spot, and I don't think that adjustment was as big as I expected it to be.
This team still has 4 games to go, 2 here and 2 on the road next week in the UP. And as Coach mentioned, we just talked about it. You're still in the hunt. So what's the mood of the team, and what are you thinking as far as a chance to get into the postseason tournament?
Well, the mood of the team is definitely just put our heads down and win. Take these games. Don't take advantage of them, and because they're huge games, we need them. And so, I think the biggest theme that we've been talking about in practice too is just put your head down and finish games and play through everything. Because that's been an issue for us all season, just not finishing games. And so, we're definitely just going to take advantage of these games and do everything we need to.
Tell us about your family and how they've supported you through the years.
Oh, my family's been great. I remember specifically when I made probably the biggest jump in my game was my summer after my freshman year, and me and my dad would wake up every morning around 5 a.m. and he would drive me to the gym. He would rebound for me every day of that summer, and just since then, my dad's been huge for me. And also just my family, after bad games, my mom would come console me and tell me it's all good. And also my siblings, they went through the same thing with high school basketball. And so they would give me advice because they knew where I was coming from.
Well, that was the big jump from freshman to sophomore year in high school. Mm-hmm. You're at that point now in college, freshman to sophomore. What are the specific plans for you this this summer and what you know you have to get better at?
For sure, like I said, confidence, and I think shooting will come with that. I think I'm definitely more than capable of shooting, but it's just confidence. I just have to work on that and get in the gym, because I feel like right now, I'm a little bit of a liability on offense. I think I'm good on defense, but that's something I want to work on. I don't want to give coach a reason not to put me in the game, and so I'd say continue working on defense, shooting, confidence, and just continue to grow mindset and physically.
That's good. We will look for you to be bulking up also and banging heads inside there. Next year we look for great things for you, Aiden, down the moon. Down the road. I'll get it out there. I want to thank Aiden Moon, our special guest, and of course Coach Bert Paddock and McKenna Bryant from the women's team, and also Coach Shonda Sanders. And once again, thanks to all the good folks here at Uccello's all season long. So for our special guest, I'm Rick Berkey saying thanks for joining us all winter long, and go Panthers.